Welcome to Relationship Coaching Live. What if I told you that the relentless need to please others is actually rooted in your own inner critic? Today we're diving deep into the connection between people pleasing and that harsh inner voice that's constantly judging you. Oh, you're not alone, believe me. And together we're going to discover the cycle. So before we discover the cycle, we need to know what is people pleasing, right? Um, People pleasing is a deeply ingrained behavioral pattern characterized by a relentless desire to please others. So it's often at the expense of your own needs, values, and well being. While it can sometimes be mistaken for kindness, we've all been there, or selflessness, true people pleasing stems from a need for validation and acceptance, and it's rooted in the fears of rejection or conflict. Now, this behavior often leads to suppressing one's own desires, opinions, and even boundaries so that we can maintain that harmony and approval from others. Ooh, we're going to have to do a deep dive into this topic. By the way, I have a free guide in my pinned comments that I'm going to post after I'm done with the live, okay? So let's start with what are some of the common behaviors? So people pleasing manifests in various subtle and overt ways, both. So number one, the obvious one, right? Saying yes when you mean no. Sometimes don't you find yourself agreeing to like requests or commitments you don't truly want to accept? Helping with projects, attending events, or taking an extra work, like an extra project, extra work, even if it conflicts with your own priorities and what you really want to do, right? How many times have we done that? And you know, the phrase no is a complete sentence, right? I've always had a problem with saying no because, yes, I used to be a people pleaser. And when I catch myself now, it's like, no, honey, boundaries. So the main thing I think is to have boundaries and just build those boundaries. It's, somebody is like, can I stay over at your place and you can't have them? Just say no. Remember, you don't owe anybody anything, even if they make you think that or you think that. So you don't owe people anything. And before we move on, let's see. We have some comments. Oh, hi, David. Oh, you are so welcome. Yes, I'll always here for you guys. And David Marco, hi. So good to see you. Those are my favorite Davids, but don't tell the other Davids. There's three favorite Davids, and the other one, I hope he shows up. And if he doesn't, he's still my favorite. My top three favorite Davids. I know a lot of Davids, let me tell you. So you guys made the list. So what is another common behavior that where we see the people pleasing besides saying yes when you mean no, right? Which is the most common one. Avoiding conflict. I am guilty of that because conflict can feel like a threat to connection. So you might want to be like, no, you know what? Let's just ignore the conversation or dodge that conversation because it's a difficult conversation to have with this person. And I want to please this person. I want this person to like me. And we smooth over disagreements or we compromise, which is the worst part. We compromise our stance on something just because we want to keep the peace. How many times have you guys done that? Let me know. How many times have you said, please, not again. No. Okay, am I back? I don't know what else to do, guys, with this internet. Am I okay now? It's like, I don't know what else to do. I am so frustrated with this because I've done everything and I don't know what else to do. So we'll continue. If I drop again, just know I'll be back. Don't worry. Okay. So let's see, Frozen. Breathe, Grace. David, I am so tired of these Frozen moments because it only happens with StreamYard and they claim it's not their fault. So I don't know what else to do with them. I'm going to send them this link and be like, listen, I've done everything. I don't know what else to do. So StreamYard, or I might switch to another streaming service because this is just not working for me. But anyway, thank you, David. You always make me breathe. Um, Another way that I'm going to call them behavior of people pleasing, is going to be constantly seeking approval. Oh my gosh. And we do it sometimes with, um, with just without even knowing that we're doing it, right? And sidebar, David is saying maybe they're avoiding conflict. My streaming service. Yes, I know what you meant. They definitely are. Ooh, but I'm going to be like, listen, I'm going to change. I'm going to switch because this is ridiculous. But I like StreamYard because I have everything uploaded here. So anyway, okay. But it was just tiny. It was a tiny thing. And if it happens again, then I'm going to contact them. So we constantly seek reassurance from others, right? To validate our choices. Like, you call your friend, it's like, do you think I should do this? And you want their approval, not just for the decision, but also their approval, right? And we seek reassurance from others to validate our choices for their opinion, because their opinion often carries more weight than our own instincts or preferences. That's crazy. That is putting yourself last. And remember, self-love is not selfish. And putting yourself first is not selfish. It's like, this is an analogy. I heard it. I didn't create it. But like, when you fly, they tell you, you first, if something happens, you put your mask on before you can help somebody else and put their mask on. So it's the same concept, right? So you got to self-love. And the constantly seeking approval, it can manifest in needing praise for even minor decisions. Yeah. I used to do this a lot. Like I had a psychic, I'm going to confess, and you guys tell me, feel free to tell me if you've done stuff like similar. I used to have a psychic, and every time I made a decision or something happened, I needed to make a decision or something, happened in my life that was important or even minor, not even important, I would call her. Now I don't. Now I have ChatGPT to do that. You never really get away from people pleasing a little bit. So it's one step at a time. It's not like you're going to be erasing all these behaviors we're talking about right now. It's going to be one step at a time, just maybe 1 month or 1 year. You're like, I'm not going to constantly seek approval. And when you catch yourself, then you're going to be like, oh, that's what I was doing. Okay, another behavior that shows that you are a people pleaser is minimizing your needs. Whew, haven't we done that? And one of the things is when you say yes and you mean no, you're minimizing your needs because you don't want to do something, but you're saying yes to please the person. Your needs are frequently pushed aside, right? Viewed as like less important, or you even ignore them entirely. This may lead you to neglect self-care, downplay your own struggles, or even sacrifice your own comfort for the sake of others, which is kind of crazy. So that's another one. And by the way, you guys, I have a free guide that I'm going to post on the pinned comments after the live, and it's going to have exercises. It's going to have questions you need to ask yourself, and it's free. It's on the State of Grace shop. And the link is going to be in the pinned comments. Okay. Another behavior that shows us that we are people pleasing is over apologizing. Okay. I got rid of this behavior because I was over apologizing. It's almost like a reflex, like, oh, I'm sorry. And then you explain why, it's like, no, stop. Like I stop myself. It's like, you don't have, like when I text, it's like, no, I don't have to explain why I'm saying no. It's no, or it's, whatever it is. Don't apologize. It's your boundary. You have a right to have a boundary. You don't apologize for your rights, right? So apologizing is like a reflex. Even when like there's nothing to be sorry about, like we were talking about, like it's your right. So it's like you're taking responsibility for something that you're not responsible for so you can smooth over any potential friction. And I have a story, a fan story. Okay. So let's talk about Melissa. I always change the names, by the way. So if you want, by the way, send me your story and DM me on Instagram. That's usually a good place to start. And let me know if you have a story that you want me to tell. And actually, sometimes your stories will inspire me to do an episode on a certain topic. David says, I'm so guilty of this. Yes, I'm allowed to be in a bad mood, but nobody else is. I always put myself second, but I enjoy helping people. I just get tired of fighting. If 2 + 2 = five, fine. Life's too short. Definitely pick your battles for sure. But if you're in a bad mood and that affects other people, then just isolate yourself for a while until that mood is over, or just don't talk to them as much. That's what I do. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't want to take it out on other people. And if I do, I definitely apologize because I'm aware that it's me, it's not them. Sometimes somebody can make you mad, but it's better to, if somebody makes me mad nowadays, I'm like, okay, have a great day. And I hang up and I deal with my anger and I figure out is it because it's triggering something in me, or is it because they really said something mean and I have a right to be mad? So you have a right to have your moods. Absolutely. We all have a right to. Yeah. By the way, today I'm not wearing a wig. This is my real hair. And for those who follow my cancer journey, this is how long it is now. So this is, as you can see, my real hair. So I'm starting to sport my real hair. Yay, Grace. Okay. So let's go to a real life story. Okay. So her name is Melissa. We're going to call her Melissa. She's a coaching client, as a matter of fact. And I worked with her last year. Um, Melissa was on the go-to person, and the go-to was the go-to. She was the go-to, excuse me, person in the family, right? Everybody was like, just going to her because she's very caring and compassionate. If somebody needed help moving, she was there. If a friend was in emotional turmoil, she was there, and she dropped everything to console them, often at the cost of her own rest and responsibilities, which is kind of crazy. At work, she took on extra shifts without hesitation and stayed late to help others complete their projects, which she did. All the behaviors I've been talking about, almost all of them, she's done all these people pleasing behaviors, right? And she's not putting herself first. If you can't, again, if you can't put yourself first, then you're going to be drained. It's okay to take care of other people, but you got to put yourself first because helping others can drain you sometimes. And some people are emotional vampires and we don't know it. I've had some friends that were emotional vampires and I was like, why? Is it that every time like I tell them something good, then that good doesn't happen, or I feel tired after I'm with them, right? So I protect myself now. I don't tell good things to the person that, I feel like they almost like they steal my blessings, which is so weird. I know it's crazy. Maybe it's in my head. I don't know. And the other one, it's just they just drain because they're so emotionally all over the place. I feel like I have to regulate them. And that's something that triggers me because I had to do that with my mom, who was very emotional and had BPD. So that is very triggering for me. So I kind of, I will let the person know very kindly. I do it in a kind way because you don't have to be mean, right? And so they know now. They drain me when they get emotional. I'm like, just if you don't calm down about this, I can't continue talking. I'll talk to you when you're more calm. Um, so so Melissa, on the surface, she appeared like generous and kind-hearted, right? We all done that, right? We appear like everything is okay, but behind the scenes, honey, when she got home, she was exhausted, overwhelmed, and resentful. That's another thing that happens to us, right? Her weekends were like, she spent them recovering from the burnout, and she rarely had time to pursue her own passions, which is crazy. All right. So together, we worked on identifying her people pleasing triggers. the fear of disappointing others, and the discomfort with saying no, and the underlying belief that her worth was tied to being needed. How many people do, even us, sometimes we're like, oh, I'm needed, I'm loved. That means I'm loved. And that, and you will drain your own energy and not take care of yourself and get sick or get drained and exhausted and not be able to do what you're here on earth to do. So we got to be careful. It's a balance. Life is all about balance, remember, and setting boundaries. Very important. So Melissa, as a matter of fact, began setting boundaries, practicing saying no without justifying her reasons. Remember, no apologizing, no saying why. And she prioritized her own needs. Within months, she reclaimed her weekends. Go, Melissa. She took that writing retreat that she always wanted to take, and she found a renewed sense of balance and confidence. Yes. And let me take care of some of these wonderful comments. Candace is saying, I was in a DV. And I'm thinking of telling my story, but I will decide to do it if I'm telling, as if I'm telling it about a friend instead, to avoid triggers. That's actually a good idea. You can even write a novel about it, or you can write like a story without saying it's you, and put it out there. I don't know if you're on social media. And, I think social media is very effective because it gets to a lot of people. I'm doing my own stories, Candace, on my social media, and I have a playlist called on YouTube, Story Time with Grace, where I tell my stories. So if you can relate to it, then, it's healing for me at telling the story, and for other people who can relate to it, is healing to them. And thank you, Candace. Your hair is beautiful. Thank you so much. I did chemo and my hair started growing in 2022. So this is not bad, huh? And I never trimmed it or anything. The only way I trimmed it is I did a little braid and then I cut. So it's terrible. So the ends are kind of like all messed up. But I am so happy it grew, Candace. Believe me. It was fun to be bald, but I'm good. So David is saying, I have friends that focus on revenge, and to me, revenge is a waste of time. Absolutely. Why would you get revenge? It's okay. People don't realize the negative energy and vibe that you put out there when you seek revenge, and you are going to attract. When you put out negative, you attract negative. When you put out positive and you come from love, from your higher self, love, peace, joy, compassion, enlightenment, you're going to attract that. Believe me. I know it because I was based on ego before my cancer, more based on ego. I had higher self, obviously. And now I'm more listening to my higher self than my ego. Revenge, David, as we know, is just the ego, just wanting to be like, ha, 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 ha. And you know what? The ego is never happy and never satisfied. Oh, you're always my beauty, Grace. Oh, thank you. You are so kind. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much, Candace and David. I really appreciate you. And you are on your fibroid journey to healing. Yes, yes. I know those are benign, but they're there. They're not fun. A lot of women have that. So, and you're on TikTok and YouTube. Great, Candace. So on TikTok, you can do short videos telling your story. And this is for everybody who has a story that can help others. That's the way to go. This is the timeline to do this, okay? Because we're all trying to connect. When I go on TikTok and I see stories that have happened to me, I'm like, I cry and it's cathartic, and I feel love for the person and compassion. So it is amazing to be able to tell your story. And if you ever are able to do it from your own perspective, it's even more powerful. And in YouTube, you can do short stories too. You can, the video of TikTok video, you can put it on YouTube also, Candace. So, Jose is here. Morning all, had to run errands, but here now. Yay, so happy. So happy you're here. Jose is in the house. Yes, he is. And I love how everybody's telling each other hello. I love this community. I'm creating community here. That's what I'm doing. And so we can all support each other, because it's not me like telling you, oh, I am perfect. And that's why I always tell you all the screw ups and like the darkest things I've done, because and I want you to tell me also your stories, like you guys are saying now. You're telling me your stories, because we all connect that way. This is a community, and I love that you guys know each other and like each other. This is so cool. And David says, I don't hurt people. I live to help people. I think you know that. Oh, yeah, totally 100%. You know, David, also when we want to, oh my God, you're freaking me out, Jose. Still, Grace is freezing up. Stop it. Stop it. All right, going back to David. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes we can hurt them without knowing. They might have a trigger and we are not aware. But when you have that heart, if that happens, then you'll work it out with the person. So, and everything will be okay, right? So here's Candace. From my own perspective, may trigger me. I don't want breakdown online. You know what, Candace? That's a good point. However, let me tell you, when I was telling my story about growing up in a military dictatorship, which I did not tell that story to anyone except one of my friends, because I was embarrassed and ashamed to have grown in a country that had that and allowed that, right? So when I told the story, and everybody like Jose and David and yourself, you know, being so supportive when I was telling the story live, I broke down a couple of times, because as I was, you know, telling the story, I was like, oh my God, I never really processed all this. So it is okay to break down online. If you, it's okay. It's okay. And maybe you're a private person and you don't want to do that, but the more vulnerable we become, the more we help healing others and heal ourselves, right? I love all of this. Oh, you're all, I love it. I love it. Yes, yes. Socialize, follow each other on Instagram, on YouTube, all of that. All right. So let's go to the impact on the well-being. Ooh, okay. By the way, again, sidebar, on the pinned comments after the live, I'm going to post a link to a free guide about what we talked here. And it's going to focus on journaling, practical tips, you know, stuff like that, so you can work it out. So the impact that people pleasing has on our well-being. The effects of people pleasing aren't just emotional, right? They're physical, all right? Because if you constantly prioritize others over yourself, this can lead to things like burnout and exhaustion. We talked about that. We're constantly depleted emotionally and physically. Resentment, absolutely, resentment. When I say yes and I mean no, I'm resentful, and the other person doesn't have anything to do with it, because it was me saying the yes, right? Anxiety and stress, that's another negative consequence of people pleasing, because the need for approval creates constant pressure to perform, keep the peace, meet other people's expectations. That's a lot, you guys. That just thinking about it stresses me out. Another thing is difficulty setting boundaries. You struggle saying no, even when you're overwhelmed, leading to committing yourself, overcommitting, and stretching your energy. You spread yourself too thin, right? You have a lot of plates going, and it's just eventually you're going to crash and burn. And then also to me, the worst one is identity loss, right? Because over time you may lose sight of who you really are, what you want, and what you truly matter. What truly matters to you, because you've spent so long adapting to other people's needs. It's so before we move on to segment number 2, let's look at some comments. Candace, you do what you need to do. We're here for you. Thank you, Jose. Yes, we're all here for you, Candace. And if you want to do a live and invite the people that are here, invite me too, and you want to make it like a private event or whatever, when you tape it, we're there for you. You have that option. Um, Good point. Yes. Yeah, Candace, we will listen if you need us. See, we got community here. Isn't this beautiful? I love this. This makes me so happy. All right. Um, let's go to segment number 2. I'm trying to I have how many segments? 5. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Um, all right. So let's now talk about the inner critic's role. So I really met my inner critic when I realized it's so there when I started doing stand up. I would be on the stage trying to do my stand up, and the critic would be like, "You suck. They're not laughing." And I would that's when I really heard her. She's annoying. Yeah. And very, very obvious she was there. And I was like, can you please leave? Because I really am trying to do this. Okay. So the inner critic's role. What is the inner critic? Like I said, it's that relentless voice, right? I gave the example first, but it's that crazy voice, relentless. It's like it never stops. It's inside your head that seems to always find something wrong, no matter how well you've done or how much you've achieved or how amazing you are. It's that voice that's telling you, oh, you're not good enough. You should have done more. You haven't reached your goals. You are not, good enough for this person. This internal monologue is like having an uninvited guest who's always ready to point out your flaws. We know that person, right? It's not just negative self-talk, it's a deeply ingrained pattern of self-judgment and perfectionism. Hello, right? How many perfectionists do we have here in the group? And it often traces back to early experiences like criticism from parents, teachers, or peers. So this negative self-talk, I feel like they're thoughts that are in the ether, and we allow them when we feel a certain way. Our emotions allow those thoughts to kind of cling to us. And of course, our emotions, when we were criticized by parents and teachers or peers, we have that emotion of not being good enough. And so we allow those intrusive thoughts to overpower us. That's why when I don't know if this can help you, I'm just telling you what I do. When I have those thoughts, I shoo them away, like get them out of here, and it works. It works, and over time, this voice, this intrusive voice, it becomes so familiar that it's almost second nature. Like you don't even realize it's the critic. Like I told you, I only realized I had a critic like that when I started doing stand up because it was loud. That girl was loud. I was like, stop it. Okay, so here. Let's go to Candace. Maybe your inner critic is, saying, oh, maybe you shouldn't tell your story because you're going to break down. You're going to be triggered. She's grateful. Yes, we're here for you and we mean it. Okay. Talking to strangers feels better than close friends. Why is that? Great question. Because this is my opinion. To a compassionate stranger, right? An enlightened stranger. Because a stranger, we don't know anything about you. Like we can't bring information that we have about you to be like, well, you talk like that to yourself because you do the same with me. Like their ego can get in the way, right? With our friends and strangers or ChatGPT, a chatbot, it's like their ego is not in the way because I don't know you and I'm listening attentively to what you're telling me. I'm processing the information and coming from a point of view of 99.999 objectivity, right? We always have a little bit of bias, obviously, but because we have maybe you hurt a friend and they didn't tell you, and so they're not as nice when they give you feedback. There's so many reasons. So that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Let me know. And here, Jose, because people, you often put on that happy face so they see you as perfect with no problems or flaws. You're so right. That's absolutely correct. So that's another reason, right? And it's like, oh, I'm doing great. Yeah. And you're always, Jose, you're probably always the one who encourages people, who is positive, and, because you really are. And I feel like us people who want to be positive and and show that we need to, when we're not feeling positive, we're like, listen, today I'm not as positive. I'm having a day. So I'm not going to be the happy person to cheer you up today. Or just don't say it, just do it. It's like, I'm not, it's just, remember, we come first. You come first. You're number one. If you can't put your, on the plane, right? If you can't put your oxygen thingy, whatever it's called, mask, then you can't put it on others, right? You got to put it on you first. Grace, no lie, you're freezing up for a second. Oh my God. No, no. Is it for real? Oh my God. It didn't even show on my end. Oh my God. I am so done with the StreamYard. I know. Breathe, and Jose is having a field trip because he knows that Fraga. All right. But as long as you can hear me, even if I like have a goofy face when I freeze, I'm okay with it. All right. So let's go now how our inner critic fuels people pleasing. This is good. So the inner critic has three major ways of driving people pleasing behavior. Number one, fear of rejection. The inner critic constantly whispers fears of not being accepted or loved. And it convinces you that if you don't meet everyone's expectations, you risk losing connection and approval. This fear pushes you to say yes when you mean no. Agree when you want to, no, I object. You don't say it. You're like, yeah, sure. And inside you're like, what? No. And sacrifice your own needs just to maintain the harmony and the balance and the peace. An example, imagine you're exhausted after a long week, but a friend calls asking for help with a last minute project. Even though you're drained, your inner critic is like, well, if I say no, they'll think I'm selfish. What if they don't call me again? I can't risk that. Suddenly you're there agreeing to help, even though it's the last thing you want to do. You know, a lot of friends sometimes call me because I'm kind of like that person that will calm them down and emotionally regulate them. And sometimes I'm doing a lot, I'm busy, or I don't have that kind of energy that day. And I'm honest. I'm like, I appreciate what you're going through. I love you. Today is not a good day to talk about this. Can we talk about this and another time? Let me see. I tell them to have that extra beer. Right. You're like, yeah, let me get you off my back. Yeah, you can have it, even though it's not good for you. And then whip up my cell phone camera. Good. That's a good move. And Candace is saying, goofy face, that's the biggest fear of freezing up. I know. It's like, I know. And I do make goofy I'm very expressive. So being the yes girl syndrome, yes. And the yes guy syndrome. Guys have it too, right? It's, I know. I suffer from it, and we're all here. This is not accidental. We're all here because we all suffer from it, and we all need healing. And this is something that we need to hear. That's why StreamYard, the demon StreamYard, is freezing me up because it doesn't want us to heal. I'm going to stick to that story. So anyway, so let's go again to the fear, what fuels, how the inner critic fuels our people pleasing. I just made an ugly face. I hope I didn't freeze. So another way that our inner critic fuels people pleasing is the desire to be perfect. Oh my God. So annoying. All right. Perfectionism is like the inner critic's playground. It's like, I'm home, baby. You're a perfectionist. Let's go. The inner critic thrives on impossible standards and convinces you that making mistakes or setting boundaries means you have failed. In the world of people pleasing, perfectionism drives you to be the perfect friend, the perfect partner, the perfect employee, the perfect host, often to the point of burning out. Before I go to the example, let me, Candace, Jose is saying, Candace, if they can't accept you at your goofy face, they don't deserve at your pretty. That is facts. Absolutely. If you can't accept me looking like no makeup with goofy face, then you don't deserve me with makeup and good face. You don't deserve me serving face when you like my goofy face. 100% Candace, right? All right. So, an example, you guys, the desire to be perfect and perfectionism. So, at work, you find yourself taking on extra tasks just to ensure everything is flawless and everybody is happy, right? You just volunteer for projects, triple check your work, and even take responsibility for others' mistakes. Oh, wow. That's extreme, right? Everything to avoid any hint of imperfection. That's you guys, that is so exhausting just reading it from my notes. It's making me tired. The inner critic really wears you down. It's the one that causes stress the most, I think. That's my opinion. The inner critic feeds this behavior with thoughts like if you don't go above and beyond, you'll think you're not good enough. You have to do more to be worthy and accepted and loved. Okay, it's like, shut up, inner critic. All right, so another way that the inner critic fuels people pleasing is the belief that approval equals worth. No, it doesn't. But how many times have we felt that, right? If somebody validates me and approves of me, then, oh, I'm cool, I'm good. No, you're good because you think you're good, because your values are good. So the most important thing is being happy with yourself. Of course, being self-aware, not be a horrible person, be self-aware of the things that are not right, but that's having critical thinking skills, right? But just, you don't need approval from anybody or validation. I don't need validation. If somebody gives me a compliment and says nice things, great, but I don't depend on it. And David is here saying, my profession requires me to make no mistakes. Dang, yes, you're right. They definitely have to feel better than when they arrive. I love what I do, but the pressure is there. Yes, that's a lot, because you're dealing with their bodies, their physical well-being, and one wrong move and oops, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see it, David. How do you deal with that? Let us know. How do you deal with that stress? Um, do you trust? Do you have confidence in your skills, or are you careful? How do you do it? Let us know. I'm curious. I'm really curious. Um, so perhaps I think the most insidious influence of the inner critic is this one. I really do. Because it makes external validation feel like it's oxygen, like we need it to breathe, we need it to survive. And that's why people pleasers struggle with boundaries, because saying no feels like you're risking your sense of self-worth. It's not about being selfless. It's about risking that, oh, I'm accepted, I'm loved, I'm validated. So you might find yourself sometimes bending over backwards for friends and family, or even acquaintances sometimes, just to receive a nod of approval or a simple like, thank you, you're awesome. The inner critic interprets that as proof that you matter, and it reinforces the cycle, right? Well, here is where it all ties together. The inner critic thrives on people pleasing behavior. Each time you sacrifice your needs to keep the peace or gain approval, you reinforce the inner critic's narrative. You teach the inner critic that its fears are justified and that avoiding conflict or seeking validation is the safest route. So here are some truth bombs. Okay, are you ready? The more you people please, the stronger the inner critic becomes. Remember, the inner critic affects your emotional, spiritual, and physical health. Another truth bomb. It learns that external validation is the key to self-worth. Breaking the cycle means facing the discomfort of saying no and risking that disapproval, which is something the inner critic fights against tooth and nail. So breaking the cycle means facing the discomfort of saying no and risking disapproval. All of this, by the way, is going to be on the free guide that I'm going to post a link for, so you can get it. You can download it from my the State of Grace shop, and there's going to be exercises and all kinds of things. Okay. Um, Okay, so this is an exercise that is on that free guide, so we're not gonna look at it. Okay, let's move on to segment number 3. But before we move on, let's see. David answered my question. I am confident. Great, great. Being confident in your skills is amazing. I work a lot with infants and toddlers, so I have to be gentle yet effective. Yes, there's no pressure unless I think about it. I will always ask how their experience was. That's excellent. That's an excellent way to deal with that type of stress where you're dealing with people's physical well-being, and especially kids. Ooh, that's a big responsibility. I teach swimming to kids, so to be water safe, and that's with kids, it's even more of a responsibility. So I totally empathize with the what you are dealing with. So great. That's a great answer. Thank you for being vulnerable and letting us know how you handle it. So let's go to segment number 3. Yay, we have 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there's one more comment. That's a lot of college. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's the only way, right? The more you do it, the more confident you become. The more you study it, the more confident you become. Same. Absolutely. All right. So segment number 3, you guys, is about recognizing the patterns. One of the most powerful steps towards breaking free from people pleasing is learning to recognize the patterns. That's why, guys, download the free guide. It's going to be really helpful, because people pleasing doesn't happen randomly, right? It's triggered by specific people, specific situations, or even environments that ignite that need for approval or conflict avoidance, like work or family reunions, right? By bringing these triggers into awareness, you can begin to reclaim your power and make conscious choices instead of automatic ones. Self-awareness is number one. You have to. Once you're self-aware, you can analyze what's going on, right? So recognizing the triggers, identifying the triggers. Triggers are the catalysts that activate people-pleasing behavior. That we talked about that. So these triggers include family gatherings. Family is where most of our people-pleasing habits are born, right? So imagine the family reunions and gatherings. The expectations placed on us as children, whether to keep the peace or avoid conflict or an approval, often carry into adulthood. And if you find yourself slipping into old roles around your family, like the helper or the peacemaker or the logical one or the overachiever or the funny one, it's likely to be tied to deep-rooted conditioning, okay? And here Candace says, exactly. I grew up religious and lots of pleasing people were necessary to be accepted. Yes, absolutely. And even like almost like recite stuff when in religious families, like you don't mean it, or you don't even understand what it means really on a deep level, and you never questioned it, but it doesn't feel right, right? Did you ever have that feeling like you're saying something is like, oh, that doesn't feel right. That just feels so weird. Did I really just say that? I don't believe it. And David is saying, if you remember my last family gathering, I told you about and requested Maurice, for God's sake. Oh my God. Let me tell you, wouldn't that be hilarious if Maurice showed up at one of your family gatherings? By the way, you guys, Maurice is a character that I have, and you can check it out on my YouTube under sketch comedy. Maurice, the French ladies man. Oh my God. It's me in drag, basically. It's crazy. And if you want to see the episodes, like more episodes, you can subscribe to like let me put it here, my Patreon, which is, let me see, I put it in the ticker at the bottom. So yes, I have 4 episodes there. You're going to love Maurice. Yes, Maurice he's one of my favorite characters that I do. Yeah, he's just, it's just based on some family members, by the way, FYI, and also like all the stuff that guys have ever told me that never worked. It's like I just put them all there. Uh, Rent him out. Yes, I'm going to rent him out totally, 100%. Yes. My grandmother would be thrilled. Yes, I know. Oh my God, he's so clueless. Poor Maurice. He's so clueless. Yes, Jose, money is no object. Race, rent him out. I'm there for you, David. I'll fly to Vegas or drive. We escort services. Oh my God. Oh my God. That would be so fun. Like Maurice would be available for parties. Yeah, I love it. David, I'm here for you. Anybody else who wants to rent Maurice, he's available. He'll love to. He's a charmer though. Be careful. He says all the wrong things, but he's charming, and he gets mad sometimes. Oh yeah, he's got a temper, but very short temper, and then he goes back to being sexy. So that's Maurice for you. Um, so, okay. So another thing that is a trigger is the work deadlines. Oh my God, right? In professional settings, the fear of disappointing colleagues or superiors can push you to like overextend to no end. You might volunteer for extra projects or work late hours or take on others' responsibilities, all to avoid the perception that you are not being cooperative, that you're selfish or incapable. Like a coworker asks if you can help with a last minute project, you're swamped with your own deadlines, but the fear of seeming unhelpful overrides your boundaries. And you say, yes, I'll do it. Suddenly you're stretched thin, sacrificing your own priorities to meet someone else's. No, that's not putting yourself first, honey. Put yourself first. Um, Skits are great. Let me see, Candace. Skits are great for telling rough stories. Hopefully, I can incorporate this. Yes, I use it to show different parts of me mixed with people that I know and exaggerate it. But yes, totally, they're great. You can do that for your TikTok, Candace, or for your YouTube. Skits are very popular. Available for parties, commitment, no so much. You've seen Jose. You're subscribed to my Patreon, so I hope you can watch the Maurice episodes. They're all I have tabs like collections, so you'll they're all there. And a lot of it I wrote, and a lot of it is improv with the camera woman. Oh, Maurice wants to sleep with the camera woman. Ooh. So anyway, you got a little snippet of Maurice living down along. Don't look like that. Have a mustache, a belly, and a sweat. Because that belly, let me tell you, the plastic belly, the mustache, the wig, and the beret, very hot. Like as in sweating. I say yes a lot when it comes to helping people. I stay late when my staff is overloaded with paperwork. It's no big deal and I feel good. Yeah, and that's fine. That's if it doesn't affect you negatively and you do it because not because you want to please people, but because you want to do it and it's fun for you. It's like when we do a project with someone, like I love doing the editing. So I don't mind if they don't do the editing and I do it because I truly enjoy it. It's not like I'm over it. And if I'm overextending, I'll let them know. But yeah, I totally get it. Yes, those are the exceptions when you really want to do it. 100%. If we have that summer beach party at one point, Maurice can go run interview on beach goes, oh my God, that would be so fun. Let me tell Jose, that would have to be more like in the winter because Jose, that outfit, you guys are going to have to feed me intravenous water because it is so hot and I sweat so much. It is so hot. I'm going to dehydrate in like literally 10 seconds after I put the costume on. All right. We'll go back to triggers, identifying triggers, conflict prone relationships. Oh my God. Haven't we all been in conflict prone relationships? A friend, a partner, family member, people pleasers often struggles with direct confrontation. To avoid the conflict, you might suppress your feelings or agree with things you don't actually support or avoid difficult conversations altogether. If your partner makes a decision you disagree with, instead of voicing your opinion, you nod along and keep the peace, even if it eats at you inside. That's not good. Imagine having a partner where you're trying to please them in ways that affect you negatively, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Not good. That's not healthy, you guys. So again, this is all going to be in the free guide that I'm going to post on the pinned comments after I'm done with the live because I can't do it before. Okay. I did the whole guide for you. So you can download it for free. And if the spirit moves you to buy merch from there, I have lots of merch. I have lots of books you can download. I have what else? Shows you can download if you don't want to subscribe to Patreon. If you want to subscribe to Patreon, it's only $5.99 a month, and I post all the time there. I have tons of characters and shows and everything. Um, Partner is for partnership, so it's 50-50. Yeah, sometimes it might be 60-40 or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as that 60 that you're doing is something that is okay with you. Like David was saying, he stays up late or doing, some more work, and he's okay with it. Um, and here it's my nature, food banks, homeless, etc. I believe in giving back to the community 100%. And you know what? People that give back to the community live longer. Did you know that? If you guys watch the Blue Zones, it's a documentary on Netflix, How to Live to 100. That was one of the things, that community, like helping and being involved in a community, you can live up to whatever age you want. Sorry, no offense, but I just got triggered with that statement of nodding my head to go along, even if I didn't agree with X's decision. Oh, okay. I hear you. If you need to exit, I totally get it, but let's deal with it. Okay. I totally understand. But you know what, Candace? You're not doing that anymore with anybody. So remember that when we're triggered, we can use that trigger to be like, I'm not doing that anymore. It's over. And let that trigger, let that anger or let that sadness or whatever type of emotion you have flow. And then at some point be like, okay, I am good. I feel better that I vented or that I let that emotion flow. And now what do I learn from this trigger? Right? So as long as we learn from the triggers and understand why we're triggered, which you completely understand why you were triggered, you probably even in your head imagined the things that triggered, what you said yes to, which I've done it, girl. Sometimes I said yes to things that I'm like, oh my God. And sometimes I think about them, Candace, and I'm like, oh my God, why? And then I'm like, um, okay, I'm good. I'm good. It's okay. Forgive myself. I did it. It's done. Good. You're not. Okay, good. The sadness is rolling away. I'm stronger now in dealing with it. Beautiful. Bravo. Yes, Candace, you are strong. You're powerful and you're magical. They never tell us that. They program us to not know how magical and powerful we are. And you are just showed us that we are magical and powerful. Oh, you, Grace, are the most selfless people I know. You're always helping people or offering help. That's why we click. Well, yeah, I think we're here to love and help others, right? And to love and help ourselves. It's because we're all a reflection of each other. Yeah, and we came to this earth, David, some of us to help and to heal others and to help others, to heal ourselves and to help ourselves. It goes both ways, right? When you're helping other people, you're helping you also, right? It's crazy, but that's truly the way it is. Um, oh, thank you, Jose. Sending you strength, energy, Candace. That's very sweet. See, Candace, let us know when you're ready to do your stories, and we'll be there, support you, and cheer you on. Um, Candace, we do not judge you. We never will. We're happy you're amongst us. Oh, absolutely. No judgment. This is a safe zone. Like we're all sharing our experiences. So people that judge other people are really judging themselves, to be honest. I that's what I think. Um, okay. So a journaling exercise about these triggers is going to be in the free guide. The key to breaking these habits is awareness, and one of the most effective ways to build awareness is through journaling. So there is a guide here that I have, but I did put it in the free guide. And the pro tip is repeat this journaling exercise each time you catch yourself slipping into people pleasing. Okay. Um, so another thing where you can, and where this is going to be a little bit longer than an hour. Safe, sometimes it freezes, but safe. Oh, don't tell me that, Jose. You know, I get crazy about the frozen. It's driving me a little nuts. It's really hard to like stay zen. I appreciate everyone here. I'm ready to break my silence. Yes, Candace, that's amazing. I love that. Beautiful. We're listening, Candace. Absolutely. If you have any story to tell, I always breathe. Yes. If you have a story to tell, I definitely will stop and post it. If you want to, again, if you want to do a video or you want to do a live, a private live, and we're all there, to get you going, we're there. So also, you guys, okay, so the inner critic, like we said, produces kind of like physical reactions, right? Because our bodies are very intuitive and often sense the misalignment before our minds do. Like the body knows there's something that's not harmonic, there's no harmony, there's an imbalance. And that's why dis-ease exists, right? Because if you're at ease, you don't have dis-ease. I love it. I'm just here to keep Grace calm when live streams go bad. Which is all the time because I'm StreamYard. Okay, breathe, Grace. Okay. Thank you, David. So like I was saying, when you're in the midst of like people pleasing, right, your body will send signals to you that is not right. And we have to listen to these signals. Okay. Like, for example, physical sensations, like tension in the shoulders or neck. Oh my God. It's almost like you're carrying the weight of everybody's expectations. Oh, tightness in the chest. It's anxiety or suppression of your true feelings, or like churning in the stomach. It's a common response to fear or stress when boundaries are being crossed. Clenched jaw or fist signifies unspoken frustration or the need to suppress your true response. Yes. All right. So I have a lot more notes, but let's keep it rolling. Again, we're going to have some good exercises for the free guide. Okay, my loves. So feel free to download it from my shop. Okay, let's go to segment 4. Breaking free from the cycle. Yes, this is the part, the part where we break free from the cycle. Breaking free from the cycle of people pleasing and the grip of that inner critic. That's no small task, believe me. It takes awareness, intention, and practice. But with the right tools, it's entirely possible to reclaim your time, your energy, and your self-worth. In this segment, we're going to explore like 3 powerful strategies for breaking the cycle. Setting boundaries, challenging negative self-talk, and embracing self-care. Setting boundaries. We talked about it, right? And it is one of the most liberating steps towards overcoming people pleasing. Okay. They're the clear lines you draw to protect your emotional, physical, and mental well being. These are not acts of selfishness, they're acts of self respect. Learning to say no assertively. Like we said, the word no is a complete sentence. It doesn't require justification, explanation, apology, nothing. A lot of people pleasers like myself is saying no is harsh. It feels harsh or unkind, but in reality, it's actually a form of it's a very powerful form of self-care. Okay. And I'll give you some examples like, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I won't be able to help this time. Or I'm prioritizing my health and well-being, so I won't be able to join. Boom, done. Okay. Think of a recent situation where you said yes, but you wanted to say no. Write down what you wish you had said instead. Practice saying it out loud in front of a mirror until it feels natural. So start small. Practice saying no to low risk requests before taking the big ones, right? With time, once you start small, then the big ones are going to be a breeze, right? I started with no in a small way, and now I'm able to say no in the bigger ways, and I'm so happy that I am. And whenever I feel somebody asks me for something and I feel that, like we said, the churning in the stomach or like the burden on your shoulders, I'm like, oh no, my body is telling me, because remember, your body catches on before your mind. It's going to tell you. Your body speaks to you. Trust me. And so then I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to listen to my body. And then I say, no, that's it. End of the story. Challenging negative self-talk. That's another way, right? Of getting your power back. Because the inner critic is relentless, especially when you try to step out of the people-pleasing pattern. It might whisper things like, you're being selfish. They won't like you anymore. You're letting everyone down. Well, the key to breaking its hold is challenging these thoughts. Replace critical thoughts with compassionate ones. Ooh, this one is good. So here's a 3-step process to help you reframe those thoughts. Okay, first of all, notice the thought. Pay attention to when your inner critic flares up. What are common phrases? When do they show up most, right? Second, challenge the thought. Ask yourself, is this true? Is there real evidence for this? If your inner critic says, yes, you're letting everyone down, ask, am I really, or am I just choosing to honor my own needs? Like, get sassy with it. Be like, shut up. When I was on the stage, honestly, I literally in my brain said, shut the F up. And it would shut up. It would stop. And I could do my act. Now it doesn't. If there is a little bit of self-critic on the stage, it's just to guide me. It's almost like it's a director. It's not even the self-critic, because it's gone whenever it shows up. So number 3, replace the thought. Introduce a compassionate, empowering statement. Taking care of myself allows me to show up stronger for others. The mask, put it first before you put it on others. My worth is not defined by others' approval. Another phrase is, I have the right to prioritize my own well-being. Okay, so here are some self-care practices that I have in the book. Some practices, I'm just going to go over it real quick. Morning meditation, 5 minutes, just spend in silence. Scan your body. Like, what am I feeling? Where am I tight? Where am I tension? Where is discomfort? Body scanning, I do it every day. Mindful journaling, write out your thoughts and feelings without judgment, simply observing what comes up. Just nothing. Just, this is what I'm feeling. Don't be like, I shouldn't feel that way, because those thoughts are going to come to you. Just tell them to shut up. One thing that's great is spending time in nature, because it kind of, I feel like whenever I go to the ocean, I kind of dump all my problems in the ocean, emotionally, spiritually, and I feel re-energized. There's something about nature that will give you that battery recharge. Move. Even if, like, I spend a lot of time sometimes editing and sitting down, move. I have literally a squat machine. I have an inner thigh thingy. I have weights like right here on my desk and next to my desk. I have trampoline over there. Like, I'm always moving. When I feel like I've been sitting down too long, just move. Okay. That will get your energy flowing. And those thoughts are going to be like, gone. Real life success. Okay. We're not going to do the real life success story. Okay. Because I don't want to keep you guys so long. You're being so sweet. Oh my God. More comments. This is so great. Okay. Stomach churning and clenched fists also come from Taco Bell. Yes. That's why I never go to Taco Bell. Your anxiety can lie to you. It has me many times. Oh, yeah, right? These feelings are not, they're like low vibrational. And I'm not being no age. This is quantum physics. There is a vibrational energy to every single emotion. I'm not making that up. If you want more stuff about that, I just created a podcast called Quantum AF. And I'm going to put all these crazy quantum physics things that can help you physically, emotionally, and spiritually. If you want to watch episode number 1, I talk about AI, ego, Christ consciousness, and how AI is a mirror to us. If you want to watch it, it's on the podcast playlist, Quantum AF. But there's going to be more episodes. I'm excited about that one. Self-care and yoga, says Candace, and affirmations help me get my power back. Yes, 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 yes. Candace, you know what I do? I have an old school calendar and I circle everything with like a certain color. What it is, the to-do list is blue. My self-care is purple. And if one day I don't see a purple thing, I add the purple thing and do something that's self-care. Okay. Running is the ultimate therapy for me. Fantastic. I totally understood. You release a lot of energy, negative thoughts, negative energy. For me, it used to be swimming when I was a competitive swimmer. And when I teach swimming, when I go in the pools, it's like I release all those bad things in there. Fantastic, David. That's a great way to cope. And so Candace too. Yoga and affirmations. Beautiful. I had a live on TikTok and on the beach, and I dipped in the ocean. So healing indeed. Oh my God, you did. That is amazing, Candace. Yes. Wow. I love that. Are you okay? You subscribe to me on TikTok? Subscribe to me because I'll subscribe. I'll follow you back. Mine is the State of Grace Fraga. So you can find me and I'll follow you back for sure. I want to see your TikToks. Um, Quantum AF sounds exciting to listen to. It really, I'm excited to bring the information and research. And yes, what's your TikTok, Candace? Yes, give us the TikTok and I'll post it. So everybody, if you guys can follow Candace on TikTok, that would be amazing. All right, let's go to the last segment. Woo! We are almost there. And it's called Living Authentically. Yes, the final step in overcoming people pleasing and silencing that inner critic is stepping into your most authentic self. Authenticity, by the way, is a higher vibrational thing, emotion, or state of being. Living authentically means expressing your true thoughts, feelings, and needs without the fear of judgment or rejection. It's about letting go of the mask that we wear to please others and embracing the person that you really are, with your flaws, with your strengths, and everything in between. I have done a lot of work on myself with those masks that we, wear to please others, where now I say my truth, or, what I think, kindly and in love. And I think that has helped me when, if it's the way we say them, right? So if we say them with love and care and kindness, I think that's okay. If the other person reacts, that's not your problem, my dear, because you did it with kindness, right? So embrace your true self. Oh my God, this is so important, because people pleasing, it forces us to hide parts of ourselves to maintain that harmony, that balance, or win their approval, and be validated. But living authentically means no longer molding yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Instead, it's about standing in your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. What does it mean to be authentic? I have some little points here. Expressing your true feelings. Go for it. Honoring your needs, acknowledging what you need emotionally, physically, mentally, and not apologizing for it. You don't need to apologize for your needs. Boom. I've done it so many times. Believe me, I don't do it anymore. Making decisions aligned with your values. That's being authentic. Choosing paths that resonate with your beliefs and desires, not just what others expect of you. Another way to be authentic, speaking your truth with kindness. Like I said before, being honest, but with compassion and respect, not just for others, but also for yourself. All right. And so I have some practice prompts that are going to be, again, in the free guide. It's going to be in the pinned comments after I finish the live. And I want to talk about real quick the power of vulnerability, because authenticity and vulnerability are deeply intertwined. And to live authentically, you must be willing to be seen, not just your polished exterior, but your true self, complete with imperfections and struggles. Let me look at the comments. My TikTok is Sunny Goddess. I'm going live today at 5:30 p.m., but I'm not breaking the silence on live. I'd rather post content in the future gradually. Absolutely, Candace. We all have a timing of what we're willing to disclose, what we're willing to be vulnerable about, right? And when your time comes, you seem to be very connected to yourself. You'll know it. You know it. And you'll have a following who will listen to you already. So follow her. Candace is Sunny Goddess. I'm going to follow you, girl. So the power of vulnerability. Why is it powerful? Okay, because it creates genuine connections with others. When you allow yourself to be real and raw, you give others permission to do the same thing. Like we're doing here, right? We're being vulnerable and we're being real. So we're connecting, and we're all kind of healing each other. Even though we're not saying it, we're doing it, right? Oh, good. Thank you for following. Awesome. Awesome. I'll follow after the live because I don't want to be, I put my phones on airplane on because I don't want interference, but still they get frozen. Oh, calm down, Grace. Okay. I'm back. Uh, it also, being vulnerable, builds resilience. Facing discomfort and expressing your truth strengthens your emotional courage. And finally, it fosters self-acceptance. When you own your flaws, no one else can use them against you. Yeah, it's like before, thank you, David, breathe. I'm trying. I'm trying. uh, so yeah, so it's like when you give, like when people want to call you fat, if I make myself fun of myself about I gained weight or whatever, then if they say it, it's like, I just said it, dude. What? So funny. Yeah. But people, when they're trying to be mean, just own it. And so it's no fun for them, right? Today is going to be upbeat and encouraging with fun music. Love it. It's Eastern time. I am in South Florida. 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, you guys. Tune in to Sunny Goddess on TikTok. That would be Candace, our girl Candace here. She's amazing. I can't wait to tune in. Okay, today. Okay. Another thing is, as you begin to embrace your authentic self, you may notice shifts in your relationships, right? Some people will celebrate your growth while others will resist it. And that's okay because healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and acceptance. So remember, key signs of a healthy relationship. Let's go over them. Respect for your boundaries, encouragement for your authenticity. Yes, reciprocity and support, space for honest conversations. Well, to close this segment, I want you to take a moment for self-appreciation. You've spent time today diving deep into the roots of people-pleasing, understanding your inner critic, learning how to set boundaries, and discovering the power of authenticity. That's not just personal growth. It's truly an act of courage. So, your challenge this week, I am challenging you to take one small authentic action this week. Set one clear boundary in your life. Express one true feeling you've been holding back. Say no to something that doesn't serve you, and choose you just once and see how it feels. And remember that every boundary you set, every truth you express is a step forward, reclaiming your energy, your time, and your peace. I want to leave you with this, guys. You are enough just as you are. The journey to authenticity starts with honoring your own needs. You don't have to earn your worth through self-sacrifice. You don't need to hide your true self to be loved. In fact, the more you embrace who you are, the more you attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right kind of peace. Let's go before we end the live. The word eat really shouldn't be and breathe. Just say, yes. Choking. Not good. Not good. David, I appreciate you, Grace. Also, Jose and Candace, welcome to the gang. I love it. Nothing but positive vibes here. Absolutely. If we have any trolls, you know what we do. I'll bring Consuelo. Consuelo is one of my characters. Yes, she will. She will tell them off. Absolutely. This was beautiful and it showed up in my feed and I'm so grateful it was a sign. I love that. Yes, Candace, love, love, love. If you subscribe to my channel, I will subscribe back. Sometimes YouTube doesn't show me, but what I'll do is I'll go to your TikTok and I'm sure you have like all the links there. And you're so welcome, Candace, to the group, to the gang, to Grace Nation. This is a Grace Nation gang where joy, peace, love, healing, enlightenment, and compassion are always there. A Belle would have great advice too. Oh yeah, the backhanded compliments. She would, of course. She's like that, right? Just subscribe. Thank you, Candace. I will subscribe to you if YouTube shows me. If not, I'll go to your TikTok. Well, thank you, my loves, for tuning in to Relationship Coaching Live. Remember, I'm going to post the free guide about people pleasing and journaling tips with exercise in about 10 minutes. Remember, your voice matters, especially to yourself. Keep setting those boundaries, keep honoring your needs, and keep living in alignment with your truth. Until next time, take care of your heart and baby, set those boundaries. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jose, David, Candace, everybody, and David Cook. Thank you so much, my loves. I love you. I adore you. Thank you for being here. You make my life better every single time I go live. Have a great day, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Love you all. Big hearts. All right, my loves. I'll see you next time. I'm going to go live next week. You'll see. Just go on my Instagram, and I think the Cancer Joy Club next time is going to be on, and that's it. Oh, and tomorrow, if you want to laugh for free, you will. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Self-care matters. Yes. Uh, Remember to go to my live tab on my channel and put a notify me for the stand-up comedy that's going to happen tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Free comedy. The lineup is stellar. Stellar. People that have been on the Tonight Show, written for Roseanne, have entertained the troops. I mean, amazing humans, because I only book amazing human beings, and great comics. They're going to have you in stitches, you guys. Tias, yes, Tias. The Tias, actually, there's a video today from the Tias Marathon if you want to watch it with Auntie Carmera, and that's a lot of fun. All right, my loves, I love you, and stay safe. And remember, keep those boundaries, babe.